What is going on today, guys? So today I want to talk about if you are someone who enjoys playing competitive first-person shooter games, but maybe your game that you're playing right now is just not doing it for you anymore. Maybe it's just not fun anymore. Maybe it's just not challenging enough anymore. Maybe it's just not rewarding enough anymore. Whatever the case might be, let's just say you're in a situation that your choice of a competitive first-person shooter game just isn't good. You know, you've been, maybe you've just lost that connection with it, right? And you are trying to look for something else. You want something, another game that you could really get into, invest a lot of time into, another competitive first-person shooter game that you are able to really get that like connection with again, like find that like, oh, this is my game. This is, I want to play this game. I want to be involved in the community. I want to learn this game. I want to really get into it. And if you're someone who is in that sort of situation, then I might have the solution for you. So today I am on Rainbow Six Siege. Now, Rainbow Six Siege, I think, might be the solution to your problems. And that's because Rainbow Six Siege, in my opinion, is the best possible competitive first-person shooter on the market. And that's just in my opinion. Obviously, everyone else is going to have a different opinion. There's some people that share my opinion that also do think that this game is indeed the best competitive first-person shooter on the market. And there's other people that will disagree. It kind of all depends on what sort of competitive first-person shooter you like and what you enjoy playing, and especially if you have a current game that you really enjoy playing at, or you enjoyed playing at one point, but now you're kind of, not really feeling it. That style of game might not be exactly what Rainbow Six Siege is. However, I do think that you should give Rainbow Six Siege a chance, even if it's something that kind of seems maybe a little off-putting at first. Like, maybe it's like, I don't really know if this is the kind of game that I would really get into. And I honestly thought the same thing when honestly, if we go back to when Rainbow Six Siege very first came out, I was at that time a huge COD fanboy. Given I was willing to try out any competitive first-person shooter game of any sort, just to see if maybe it was something that I would enjoy more, or maybe it was something that I enjoy and then I have, more options, more games to play. But I didn't really enjoy Rainbow Six Siege at first, and I played it for a little bit. I gave it a little bit of a chance, and it just didn't do it for me. And I gave up playing on the game, and years and years and years later, I finally decided to come back to it. And the reason why I finally decided to come back to it was because I hit a certain point on Call of Duty where it just wasn't fun to me anymore. I had played Call of Duty since I was a little kid. The very first COD that I had got into was Call of Duty Black Ops 1. And as soon as I played that game, I loved Call of Duty, and I went back and I played the older ones. I played like MW2 and World at War and all the previous ones before Black Ops, and then I bought the games after that too. Every single year I would buy the newest Call of Duty, and I'd always grind it and play it, and that was my main game for the longest time, was Call of Duty. But then I hit a certain point where it just wasn't fun to me anymore, and I don't know if it's just me. Maybe I just grew out of it. Maybe I just had, you know, too much of it and I needed something more, or maybe it was the game itself, and maybe Call of Duty itself just, you know, with all the changes that they made and all the new stuff that they tried to do that, you know, didn't really work out, and just that everything that about modern Call of Duty, you know, the current Call of Duty compared to older Call of Duty, it could have been that. I really don't have an exact answer to why it's just not fun to me anymore. So I was in the market for looking for a new competitive first-person shooter game. At that point, I've played Call of Duty, I played a little bit of Battlefield, and really that might have been it for competitive first-person shooter games that I could think of. And really, those aren't even that competitive. Those are considered more casual shooters, right? And I was also fresh to PC. I just started playing on PC. So I was kind of experimenting with different games. I played a little bit of CS:GO. I played a little bit of Rust, Valorant. You know, I was trying all sorts of games, and eventually I came across Rainbow Six Siege. Now, I actually got Rainbow Six Siege. I had the at the time I had the PC Game Pass, and it was on the PC Game Pass, so I figured, you know, it's free, might as well try it out. You know, I hadn't played the game in years. You know, maybe it's good now, maybe I'll enjoy it. And I got on, and like, at first it was off-putting, just because of how difficult the game is. It's, especially coming from a little bit more casual compared to a game like this, it was a completely different experience, you know? This game has an extremely high skill gap. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot you have to work on, like, you know, you have to practice in this game. Like, if you want to be a good player, you have to constantly practice and do warm-ups and what's not. And that was, to me at first, was kind of, it was overwhelming, right? And I feel like for a lot of people that try getting into Rainbow Six Siege, they feel the same way I did, where it is extremely overwhelming at first, because it's just so much at once. There's so much you have to learn. There's so much you have to take into consideration. There's so much that is presented to you at once. And the fact that this game has been out for 8 years, going on to 9 years, there's people that have been playing since the very beginning, since the game has come out, and still play to this day. So it's going into a game like this, it feels like you're at, you know, not only is it overwhelming, but it feels like you're at a disadvantage as well, just because it feels like everyone else is already at this advanced level and, you know, knows what they're doing and everything, and you have not the slightest clue of what is going on, especially if you're coming from a game like COD, like I did. You know, this is a whole nother world. So it took a little bit to adjust to that. It took a little bit to adjust to a game like this and to get into the swing of things. But once I really started to get into it and gave the game a fair chance, you know, instead of just like, oh, this game's too hard, I don't want to deal with it, and getting off right away. And instead I gave the game a fair chance, and I was actually committed to learning the game. I was like, okay, I'm gonna put, you know, a decent amount of hours in, try to learn it, try to give the game an actual fair chance to really see if I like it. And, you know, if I don't, then I don't. But once I did give it a chance, and oh god, I have a low health here, I might die. But yeah, once I did give it a chance, it was 100% worth it. Just because now this is my favorite competitive first-person shooter game there is, and honestly one of my favorite games in general there is. This is the main game I play. This is the game that I mostly make content on. This is the game that I extremely enjoy and continue, and I continue to find enjoyment out of it. Even with, I have, you know, a little bit over 1,000 hours put onto the game now. And even now, I still find a lot of enjoyment on the game. I think that this game is extremely challenging, and you definitely feel that challenge, but the challenge is worth it. It's worth taking on that challenge, because it's extremely, oh no, I didn't even hear this guy coming down. It's extremely rewarding. I don't think there's any other game that feels as rewarding as this game feels. This game has a sense of reward in every match you play, in every kill you get, and everything you do. There's some sort of sense of reward that you get out of it. And I don't think any other game has done that for me. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I suggest this game. Because while this game at first may be overwhelming, it may be off-putting, it may be may feel like you're at a disadvantage, if you really give it a chance and you take on the challenge that this game poses, I think you will have a lot of fun with it, and I think you'll really enjoy it and want to learn it. And it'll take you a long time to learn everything in this game. You have to learn the maps, you have to learn the operators, you have to learn the guns and the different recoil patterns on every single gun. You have to learn sight setups, you have to learn different strategies and how to properly attack and how to properly defend. And you're gonna have to practice on, you have to work on your aim and practice constantly, and learn how to have good crosshair placement, and so on, so forth. There's a lot you have to learn. but it's worth it. It really is worth learning. Let's say you don't even know what Rainbow Six Siege is, though. Like, I've been talking about, you know, how you should play the game, but maybe you don't even know what this game is, and now maybe you're a little bit curious to what exactly Rainbow Six Siege is. Well, Rainbow Six Siege is a game in which you, in its simplest form, it's almost like if you're a COD player, it's like similar to Search and Destroy, or it's also similar to games like Valorant or CSGO, but it's a lot more complex. So there's an attacking team and a defending team. The defending team has to defend the bomb site. There's 2 bombs on a site that they have to defend, and the attacking team has to attack the bomb site. And the goal is either to kill all the enemies, you know, either as the defenders you kill all the attackers, or as the attackers you kill all the defenders, and or as the attacking side you plant the diffuser, and, you know, wait till the timer runs out and then you win. And then as a defender you want to try diffusing that diffuser. But it's so much more complex. Like with defense you have site setups, right? And you reinforce walls, you barricade doors and windows, you put down your utility like a shield or barbed wire. You put down your gadget, whatever that may be, and every single operator has a different gadget. So you'd use whatever it is that whatever gadget they have, you would deploy on site. And or maybe that particular operator doesn't have a gadget that you would deploy down. It's something that you would use, something that you would maybe activate. And there's different categories of operators that do different things. And there's some operators that do something similar to what another operator does. And then on the attacking side, it's the same thing. Like you have different operators that will do similar things, and they're all in their own kind of set category. But at the end of the day, the goal is essentially to either attack or defend the bomb site. It's just the operators play a huge role into it. The map itself, whatever map you're playing on and the site you're playing on, plays a huge role in it. This game focuses a lot on destruction. You could destroy almost anything. You could destroy floorboards, walls, hatches, windows, doors. You could destroy all sorts of stuff. You could destroy reinforced walls if you have an operator that has a hard breaching gadget. You could, there's just all sorts of destruction. And this game really focuses on creativity and rewards creativity. If you could think up a new strategy and see it actually work, you get rewarded for that. But yeah, that's, I don't want to rant for too long about this topic. So I think I'm going to end it there. But yeah, overall, I really think you should try Rainbow Six Siege. I really think you should give it a proper chance and really put a couple hours into the game and give it a fair chance and see if you like it. Because I really think that if you give it a chance and you're someone who enjoys competitive first-person shooters and is really looking for more of a challenge and wants something that's just more and wants something that you could hundreds, even thousands of hours into, and you want something that has a high skill gap and will challenge you but also reward you, then this is the game for you, and you should 100% play it. Anyhow, that's going to be it for me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, then please give the video a like, and if you guys want more content like this, then please subscribe to the channel. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and bye guys, have a good one.